All right, ladies, happy Tuesday. I'm coming to you today for episode 8 of our Healthy Women of Faith podcast and have a special guest with me today, as you can probably see. So I will introduce you in just a moment, but I wanted to share that if you are someone who you have food struggles, then this should be a really encouraging podcast for you today, specifically emotional eating or just using food for comfort. So hopefully this will be really encouraging today. And I am Alicia, your biblical health coach here in the group. So if this is something that you struggle with or any food struggle, just put food in the comments and let me know if this is you, and we'll get into it. So again, if you are new to the group or the podcast, this podcast is for women who want to follow Jesus and invite God into their health journey, to be empowered by the truth of God's word and the Holy Spirit in order to understand your original kingdom identity and worth so that you can thrive spiritually and physically in spirit, soul, and body, just like 2 Thessalonians 5:23 talks about. So on this podcast, you're going to hear me educate on topics around getting free from food struggles or addictions so you can lose weight and get healthier. Also, how to get rid of shame and guilt from our food struggles and how to manage your time and stress better for your health. So if that's you and you're listening to this podcast or you're in our Facebook group, I'm so glad that you're here. Make sure if you have friends or women who struggle with these things that you share this podcast with them. So, well, I'm going to introduce Staci. Staci has been a client of mine. I guess what, almost 8 months, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you introduce yourself real quick. Tell us where you're from, who you are.
Well, thank you. It won't take you but just a minute to realize I'm a Southern girl. So I live in the beautiful mountains of Northeast Georgia in a little town called Demarest, which is right outside of Clarksville, Georgia, or Helen. A lot of people know about Helen, Georgia. So we've lived here for almost 30 years and just love being here. And just, I'm a yah and a minister of the gospel and just trying to do what I can to be healthy in all areas of my life.
Awesome. Super cool. Thanks for sharing that. Well, I just have a few questions for Staci.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and get into those and you can share with us. So, where were you before you and I met and started working together?
Oh,
What was life like back then?
oh my goodness. I was thinking about that last night, matter of fact, and just there's one word that kind of comes to my mind, and that is roller coaster. I was on a crazy roller coaster ride with my weight, with my food choices. Just, I don't know. I think if you're a woman that has struggled with her weight and you are on Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform, you see all these quick fix, will get you thin in 30 days, whatever. And I was just on that roller coaster of really wanting to be healthier and to get my body under subjection of some kingdom authority, and feeling very, very lost and desperate about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of ladies can relate to that. I know I talk to ladies all the time on social media. That's where I primarily hang out and in
Yeah.
our Facebook group. So if you can relate to that and you feel like you're on a roller coaster, put roller coaster in the comments below. Let us know if you're feeling desperate. Staci's been there. So,
Yes, I have. For
well,
sure.
so what changed when we began working together?
Oh my goodness. Um, Probably the biggest change I had was Well, there were several, but my heart had to change first of all, because I just had to have a different attitude, and I just had to have a heart change. And I really feel like that with your help and with the Lord's guidance, um, He started working in my heart. And probably that happened a few weeks before I reached out to you about the group and about your help. Um, and then mindset. I've really had a new mindset. And that's been probably the biggest change, is just my mind and how I view food and how I use food. Used to, I was an emotional eater, just had a lot of, you know, unhealthy attachments to food. And food was my friend that never told me no, that I could go to at any time, and comfort, just to feel good. And so I think the biggest thing was I learned that food is fuel. You told me that all the time. Food is fuel. And learning how to put a plate of food together correctly, and in portion, and how to not feel anxiety about that, because there's a lot of anxiety that go along with food issues, and in a different plethora of reasons. But one of mine was just really not understanding and knowing how to combine my food where I would get the biggest benefit from that. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. And you're definitely not alone there. Like I said, I talked to
Right.
so many ladies where we just have this, what I call improper food mindsets about what is food? What was it created for? And that's why we have to go back to God. And that's why we have to bring God into this picture. And so I love that you shared that mindset had to
Yeah.
shift. And that's the key for all of us who've had food struggles in our lives. You really have to go back to that mindset of food is fuel. So if you're listening to this and that's a concept that's very foreign to you, or you don't know how to look at food as fuel, just put mindset in the comment, because that's a mindset that has to shift. You have to be educated on, really ask the Lord to help you with. So,
Yeah.
cool. Well, my next question is, what is life like now? What has changed for you?
Well, now I have a lot of peace, just a lot of peace. And I think that comes along with just the knowledge and the learning. And I love that you walk us through with some scriptures, um, because there's a lot of shame that's attached to, because some addictions and some struggles you can hide behind, closed doors. But when you are inappropriately feeding your body with food and overeating for whatever reason, and I understand that there's health reasons that sometimes our bodies can't, and I struggle with that kind of stuff too at some point, and still kind of do have a little bit of that, where I don't lose weight really quickly. But I think just the biggest thing is my peace over myself, and not having that shame of, I let myself down again today. I didn't take care of my temple, where every day now I get up and I have my devotion time, and I spend time in the Word, and then to have your modules there that walk me through more scriptures and to help me identify some things. And that avenue of the journey is where I found a lot of peace. And then just a lot of self acceptance, just accepting myself. And I got to the place that, even if my body on the outside stays the size it is, I just learned to love myself, because God created me and He gave me purpose. And, I can be healthy even though I'm a little fluffy. And I stopped really fighting myself and being very bitter within myself about my size, and, I'm like, God, I just desecrated your temple. That's how I always would just carry this shame. And I really am so thankful that through this journey that God has really removed that shame from me, and that I can walk in righteousness and knowing that I'm making good choices and working to take better care of myself and to be a representative for him in all ways, in every area of my life. And still got a little ways to go, but Joyce Meyer will say, I'm on my way and I'm okay. Not where I used to be, and I'm not completely there where I'm going to be, but I'm
Right.
on my way and I'm okay.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. Yeah. So, last question would be, what advice would you give someone who's in the spot that you were in
Yeah.
about 6, 7 months ago when we
Yeah.
first started working together? What would you tell them?
Wow, that's a great question. And it's one that I would say, do not wait. Do not wait. And I thought about the reasons that I put it off, and why did I avoid, maybe taking the step quicker. And I came up with the fact that there's a lot of fear attached to this, for a woman to step out and ask for help. A lot of times, the fear of the failure or fear of the unknown, because women like to know kind of what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, what is going to happen, and all that. And so I would just say, don't allow fear to keep you paralyzed in the place that you're in today. But to make that step, take that step, reach out and get some support, get your help, and start it. Take that step to start. And it's just like, I'm thinking about, in church when they have an altar call and they'll say, about salvation and coming to the Lord. And they'll say, if you'll just take that first step, the Lord will meet you, and and the rest it'll happen organically, and you'll just walk into the fullness with Jesus. And I think that's the way that it is. You take the first step, and then the Lord just meets you there, and you're there to walk alongside and to encourage and to give knowledge and to impart to us what you know. And that has just been invaluable to me, just to have someone to kind of keep me accountable, because a lot of times, like us go back to that shame, you just don't, you want to cover it up, you don't want to expose it, you don't want others to even know about it, even though you can't, it's here, it's here, you see. But it's almost like there's so much shame attached that you don't want to uncover it, you don't really want to look at it, but that's creating more of the same result. And I think if you'll just take that step and help, get with you, you will help. And it's just easier when you're walking it together.
Awesome. I would
Yeah.
totally agree with you for sure. I know even in my own journey, it is a scary thing
Yeah.
to not know what the journey is going to look like.
Mhm.
And you're right. The fear is what keeps us stuck, which is what the enemy wants. He wants
Yes.
to keep you stuck. The enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy our lives. And our health is part of that. And it's
Right.
also one of the areas that I see this particular thing. Like you said, it's very hidden. We don't
Mhm.
talk a lot about this in our churches even.
Right.
And so, yeah, I definitely feel called to help women overcome this struggle, because it doesn't have to be fearful. You can take the next step. And
Right.
oftentimes it is reaching out for help, and
Yes.
just saying, I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
And that's okay to be in that place.
Absolutely. It sure is. And the thing is, one thing I know about the enemy, he wants to isolate and pull us away from one another. He
Yep.
doesn't want you to have that support and to have a way out. And so you're so right. This is an area of, our bodies, our health, that the church kind of it's the elephant in the room, sort of speak,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just there. But, and with all that you've done, I did my own little study about gluttony and what that sin looks like. And it is a sin, but we seem to kind of just, give a pass on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really call it what it is, and I feel like that I have taken some darkness out of me and walked into the truth and walked into the light. And I have you to thank for that as well. You've just been such a blessing to me to help me walk out of that dark place
Yeah.
and to find truth and to live in the light of God's knowledge and his wisdom. And a lot of strength there, when you
Yeah.
get away from that darkness. And the
Yep.
enemy, he doesn't want you to do that. He wants you to stay isolated in that little dark place
That's right.
and eat your little Debbie's. That's what I was doing.
Yep. Yep. I hear you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's the key too. You said it. Just and that's why I'm a big proponent of education. I think I call it food education, with the view of how did God create food? What is it for? We have science for a reason, but science always connects to God. And that's what I found to be the key is we just don't know, this is very hidden because we just don't know. We know there's shame and guilt, but we don't know how to get out of that.
Right.
So that's definitely my heart to help
Yeah.
individuals find that freedom, find that light, because then you can take that into your church. You can take that
Mhm.
into with your friends and teach
Yes.
them as well that it
Right.
doesn't have to be a shameful thing. It's a learning thing. It's a growing
Yeah.
thing.
It's almost like a starting point. This is where you start, and then
Right.
you learn. And I always tell the ladies at Lamb's Ministry, when you know better, you have the opportunity to live better. And
Exactly.
so that's basically what we're saying here is you can help with some tools and education to help people have the knowledge and the understanding. And when you have that, then you get to live better. You have that
Right.
choice.
Right. Yep. Awesome. Well, you're so welcome. It's been a privilege. Super excited for the
Oh,
next things that are coming for you, the next goals
yeah,
that you have to work on. We're working on
yeah,
those things.
we sure
Again,
are.
it's just always about the next step. So if you're listening to this and that's you're ready to take the next step to overcome this, just put next step in the comments and let me know. I'll definitely reach out. Because food struggles, whatever they are, that covers a multitude of different ones,
Yeah,
don't have to control you. Food does not have to control you. And learning about food and the way God designed it, God designed food for community. We're to enjoy it with community. It's just the food cannot be the source of our joy, our peace, and all the things, because that's why we have the problems that we have. So,
right.
well, I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
sharing. Do you have anything else you wanted to share?
I think we covered it all.
Okay.
I again want to say thank you to you
You're
for doing
welcome.
what you do.
Thank you.
That's a blessing to all of us.
You're very welcome. Yep. It's been an interesting journey personally, even just jumping into this. I had no idea what I was doing, but just following the Lord's leading, like you said. So
Yeah.
you're so welcome and all glory to him because I'm just
Mhm.
being obedient. So, yep.
Right.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for those of you ladies who are listening back to this or you're watching it now. Again, if you do need help with your food struggles, just put next steps and I will reach out to you and we can work on what would maybe be the next best step for you. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me, Staci, and
Thank
I'll see you later and I'll see you ladies later also. All right.
you.
Bye.